So Meghan Markle's mom, Doria, gets to keep up with the Kardashians, but her dad and the Markles are hillbillies? Nah, not on my watch. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I'm Andy Signor, and it's part 2 with my interview with Thomas Markle Jr. Welcome back, sir. So happy to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Do you like that "we want privacy" soundbite? It's I got it. Anytime I want to have that, I can have them say.
Yeah, it sounds great. It almost sounded like a toilet flushing in the background. I thought there was one of the bathrooms in Montecito.
Exactly.
One of the 16. Yeah.
Did you? How good was that South Park episode? Did you watch that and laugh pretty hard?
Yes, I did. Yes. it's just amazing. I mean, South Park. I mean, they almost like predict the future, almost like Simpsons. You know,
they do. I'll tell you, that episode really was a turning point, I think, for a lot of people to really see who she was, which was, the brand, the victim, all the stuff. It was a really good satire. And the fact that they couldn't laugh at it was so telling to me. Like everybody's been ridiculed on South Park. Anybody would tell you the PR response is, well, very honored. It's been a lot of people that they've satired, and they couldn't do it. They complained. Did that surprise you?
Nope, not at all. You've made it to the big time when you made it on South Park. I mean, come on.
And they had to complain about it. Yeah. All right. Well,
even Tom Cruise and John Travolta, come out of the closet, Tom. Come out of the closet, Tom. I mean,
I don't think Tom liked that one a lot either, but still, that was a good episode. But yes, they skewer everyone. You got to just own it. You got to take a joke, and they can't take a joke. Well, all right. Well, we talked a lot about the past. There's so much more to talk about. I hope we'll talk plenty here, and you can learn more from Thomas on his own channel, guys. If you want to get the real Thomas Markle, go on over to the real Thomas Markle Jr. and friends. Thankfully, there's no what was the word? Crazy friendships there? No, real friends, real people. No stalkers over on this channel. So if you want the scoop, head on over there. But all right, so I wanted to do part 2 because I wanted to get more of what your dad has gone through, because we know Thomas is now suffering. We suffered a stroke, but it's good to see him in better shape. I saw him doing some interviews, and he's doing a good job getting better and speaking more. And yes, if you guys want to help him with all the medical bills and stuff that's going on, he doesn't have the royal funds or the Netflix money. So if you want to go over there and support them, you can. Be careful. There are a lot of dummy GoFundMes out there. So please click the link in our description. I'll pin it as well. So that way you guys go to the actual link to support them. If you see anything else that's not this one from Thomas, call it out. But you must feel better, Tom, because it's like your dad was given such a bum rap with the whole paparazzi thing of being caught with the pictures, et cetera, et cetera. But now a recent finding has proven none of it was his fault. It was these paparazzi just trying to use him and ruin the wedding, et cetera. And now he's finally getting some justice. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, wow. It's just, there's a big orchestra going on in the background with this whole thing. There are so many connected organizations who all work together in a big PR circle to control the narrative as far as, what they want people to think. And that was all staged. My dad was set up so bad, purposely set up. And it just all comes out in the wash. Eventually it comes out. And I'm glad it is, because it's just unfortunate. By the way, this picture on the Thomas Markle Get Well Soon, this was my dad meeting his first great grandson, my grandson, Casey.
Wow.
And
nice.
That was in Malibu before he had a stroke. Shortly after that, a couple months after that, I believe he had a stroke.
Well, that's so good. And that's what's so sad. The fact that she is just not even associating. It's like, I imagine even if you and Samantha were like, whatever, fine, but at least go see dad before he's gone. It's hard, I think, for people to really process why she would be doing that to her father, who's done so much for her. And I bring it up just because it blew my mind to see her mom's now keeping up with Kardashians, with Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian. Meghan wasn't even at this event. Like, what on earth is Meghan's mom out on a red carpet for? Who is she? She's nobody. But now she's out there chasing this clout, doing all this attention. Does this anger you to see like that she accused you guys of all this clout chasing, but now her mom's just out there hobnobbing with celebrities?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, total hypocrite all the way down the line from day one. God forbid we go and do interviews to defend ourselves in the media from all these horrible things that people were told that we were. And, don't talk to the press. Don't do this. Don't do this. Nobody ever told us that. We were just, just tossed out there to the wolves by ourselves. And it's not easy. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. When you have to deal with the press and the paparazzi for the first time, man, does that take practice. And it bites you in the ass because one article goes around the world and changes 25 times. And then they start changing it around and make you say things you never did. It's a horrible experience. It takes a lot of practice to deal with the paparazzi and the press. Years.
Yeah, and you had no warning, as we talked about in the last video, and then she's trying to claim you guys are hillbillies, as you talked about, and just everybody's just sort of painting you out as this negative thing. And then, yes, you guys did some opportunities to put the truth out there. I mean, that's why you guys were speaking out, right? To try to just make it clear of what was going on and express some of your frustration that she wasn't. I mean, you attempted to reach, you said you reached out to the royal whatever contacts to attempt to get help, and no one helped you guys. That's correct?
Nobody helped at all. And the spokesperson for Meghan and Harry at the time was a gal named Naomi in the palace. And a correspondent friend of mine who's an attorney got correspondence back finally saying Meghan said that we're distant family and she doesn't know those people from the very beginning. You know?
Yeah, and she's saying that you guys weren't real. Yeah, she was an only child. All of it's just incredibly frustrating. So I'm
surprised she didn't go so far as to say that she was like floating down the Nile in a little wicker basket, and she was picked up by some monks and raised on the riverside. You know,
I mean, it's been happening, right? More and more she inflates these stories and stuff. Do you still pay attention to it? Do people just fill you in? Like, do you try to avoid it now?
Everything I see her do is horrendous and ridiculous now. It's just mind-boggling. She just like gallivants through life, like oblivious to like everything that used to be her life to where she's got now. Is she has nobody to thank but my father. I mean, my father bent over backwards to get her where she's at, and crazy. It's just crazy.
Well, so I want to make sure we're really defending your dad as well, because again, this case happened a couple weeks ago, right? Where the Seven has won the defamation against the Markle interview. Can you sum up why this was such a big deal? Like, this basically proves your dad was innocent.
Yeah, this is a great story, by the way. And the other story that's connected to this, the beginning of this story is called The Ruthless Paparazzi. It was by the Daily Beast. Shit, if you could pull that up. I forgot to send that to you.
I'm getting it right now.
Yeah.
So that was part one of this sort of story.
Yeah. There it is.
So who is this guy?
This is Jeff Rayner, and he works very closely with Meghan and Harry, by the way. And even Carl Larson used to work for Coleman Rayner at the time, and Carl was like hired to take nasty pictures of my dad before the wedding. This article goes into detail about how they laughed about releasing bad pictures and making my dad look bad before the wedding to go crash the royal wedding. Clearly their intentions. So my dad sued them, and then he got sick and he wasn't able to follow through on it. And I tried to pick it up at the last minute, and it was just such a nightmare for me. And, you know, I mean, I didn't have time. My dad didn't get an attorney. I couldn't find an attorney. And it was just a nightmare, but it ended up getting like.
So then part two, yeah. So it goes in, and this guy loses.
Hold on.
Oh,
so
sorry.
My dad did an interview on Channel 7 Australia, and they told him, because they were talking about this whole incident, and they said no holds barred, say whatever you want. And he went after Jeff Rayner on the show, pretty much saying what was in the article, and about how they totally used and took advantage of my dad at his age, which is also elder abuse. And then he went into the Harvey Weinstein thing and taking the heat off of him. And it's a very interesting thing when you put the two stories together. So anyway, Jeff Rayner ends up trying to sue Channel 7 for what my dad said on the show, on the morning show. And then they ended up losing because Channel 7 or the courts out there decided that Coleman Rayner was vindictive in manipulating my father. Also,
Yeah,
very
this is a
interesting.
massive deal.
Yeah,
He was engaged by others in attempts to a lot, not even just your dad, a lot of stuff. This guy
yeah,
was like disgustingly all over the place doing these salacious nonsense crap.
yeah.
But
No,
yeah, it proved he couldn't win the defamation because yes, he sets up stage photography, derail his daughter's wedding. That was what he said. And yeah, the reporter claimed it was defamatory, it was dishonest, but no, even the management company, Seven, et cetera, all sort of like said, yep, we got one thing to do with this guy. It's true. And yeah, he didn't, it's not defamation. It was truthful. Therefore, your dad is now in the clear. And this really did give your dad, to me, a huge badge of innocence that,
yeah,
I mean, your dad clearly knows this. Was he excited to get this?
yeah. That was really good news for my dad, but it's just too bad that he really didn't have a good attorney back when he was suing Coleman Rayner for this, because he would have won hands down, guaranteed. He would have destroyed him. And this is just a little icing on the top of the cake. It's too bad you can't go after him now and, you know,
Yeah. I
sue
mean,
that.
but we talked about this in the last part. Clearly the tide is changing. People aren't just accepting Meghan the way that she hopes. What do you think the future holds for her? And is there any point, because you've said, I have an even article here where you're like, you know, you want nothing to do with her. Here's the quote. You've cut all ties for good. Is there a version of the story where you could, if she really saw the error in her ways, and it seems like the walls are closing in on her, is there a version of this where you would reconsider and, you know, talk to her?
Well, of course I would, but I wouldn't want it to, there's been like speculation about her PR saying like she needs to reconcile with her dad to improve her image. And I could just see her bringing, cameras and microphones and a crew to have a teary-eyed reunion with my dad, only for her, her gain. And
would you allow it? Do you think it's a good idea? I mean, your dad's probably going to want it even if it's fake. No, at this point, I would imagine you got to miss your daughter so much.
he made it pretty clear he doesn't want it if it's fake. So, I mean, my dad is always willing to extend the olive branch and to get to the bottom of it to find out what's wrong and make amends and whatever. But
so, I mean, I guess the point would be to do it without cameras then.
Yeah. But if Netflix wanted to pay me some money to have a teary-eyed reunion, sure, why not?
You can't blame her there. You can say, but that's what's so weird is she did that, and it's like, who wouldn't do that? I get it, of course. I mean, everyone needs help, and he's got a lot of bills to pay and medical bills. It makes sense. So I don't blame you. They've done it, but that's what's so weird. This hypocrisy that you guys were the clout chasers trying to use her fame when you guys got no benefit. You only got the negatives of her fame. You got the by fame by association, which then sent everyone to bother you. You're getting no income. It's crazy she didn't know that better to sort of help you, or at least even pay you guys to shut up or whatever it was, to stop complaining. Okay, fine. Here's some money for security. Something would have been nice, and they just left you to dry. I get why you guys are angry.
Yeah, it's just it's disturbing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nobody has ever asked her for one nickel, ever. But the effect that it has had over the last few years on my life, Samantha's life, my dad's life, is just, it takes a lot out of you. Just to have the mentality that like I'm out there in the press no matter what I do. There's being a narrative drawn about me that I can't control, that I have to answer for on a daily basis, and it's not as easy as you think it is. And it's just at least all the pointing and the name calling and all that crap's going away. I mean, we had death threats from their Sussex squad, all kinds of shit.
Right.
I know where you live. Somebody ought to give you a lethal injection. Even to my dad. I mean, that's bad.
It's heartbreaking, man. It's just so weird. And she's pushed away you guys. She's pushed away Harry from her family. I guess final thoughts are just like, why? What do you think is causing it all? Why isn't she attempting to have her own family or even have Harry get close to hers? Because even if the royals, let's say, did some wrong, right? You'd still want to attempt to make sure that his brother and he are in good terms. And it just seems like since this relationship, they've only gotten worse and worse. Where do you think, as someone who knows her, where do you think that's coming from?
Probably this endless little dark evil well inside her heart. And she just wants nobody to, she's got her claws so deep into Harry, and she is never going to let him go. Unless, I don't know. That's the way I see it. But that man's life has changed dramatically. He used to smile. He used to be happy. He hasn't had a picture. Oh, wait, nope. When he got away from her last week.
When he traveled without her, he had a lot of smiles.
Yeah.
Well, that's the PDA out, the Invictus Games. There was a lot of forced, clearly photo-opt PDA moments in the Invictus Games. You don't think she'll level up? A lot of theories are out there that she's going to try to get someone above Harry now that Harry's stock has fallen. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's wouldn't be the first time. I'll just say that.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I want to definitely get you back. Anything you need, happy to join you on yours. Guys, if you want to hear more of the real Thomas Markle, please head on over to his YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. And if you want to support his dad, Thomas Markle, the real one, make sure you go to this link. I'll put in the description if you want to support and throw him a couple bucks. It'll help. I'm sure he's dealing with a lot. These people, they don't have $100 million Netflix deals. They need the help, and they got to deal with all the ramifications of those sugars and everybody. So yes, the Planeteers will support you. Yes. Final thoughts, Tom. Go ahead.
Just the reason I did this, like I said, I did this GoFundMe a few months ago, and I forgot to post it, and I forgot to really promote it. So it sat dormant for like 6 months. The reason I did this is because after his 2 heart attacks and his stroke last year, about 40 grand was not covered by his insurance. And then like after that, we got all his insurance squared away, but he lives on a pretty decent, okay amount. Especially here in Mexico for his living, but he's paying off like that 40 grand that wasn't covered. So I'm just trying to relieve his stress and make his life easier. It's
being a good child, supporting your parent. Even if you don't get along, that's what we're supposed to do, right?
Even if he yells at me and pisses me off and makes my day horrible, which he does sometimes. Believe it or not, it's like, wow, I just have, so I got to go walk away back to my house, take a deep breath and just wait till tomorrow after it blows over. But it all blows over. It always does. It's family.
Families fight, but families are always supposed to be there for each other. It's sad. Yeah. It's sad to see what's happening there, but I appreciate you standing by him. I'm glad we get these updates. Please give them our best. We're here to support, and we will keep the word going. I hope more and more people stop the finger pointing. It sounds like they have, but start also just supporting you guys more, because what happened to you, I just think is just tragic. It's just so sad. And what's happening to the royal family, I think it's all sad. And I hope these two just get out of this delusional, weird A-list quest and start focusing on family and what really matters. So yeah, final thoughts for the crowd before we go?
I would love for a production company to come forward and want to do the other side of this documentary for Netflix. I guess Netflix can't do it because there's a clause in their agreement that they can't do anything with the Markles because they already did, I guess. I don't know, but there's plenty more places out there who could get the other half that was untold about the Markles, which would be a great story. So
see, now she's going to use that. It'll be in there. Thomas Markle threatens Meghan with slanderous lies. No. Does that sound like a proper headline the media will run with?
Last week, I got invited to Montecito. I have a lot of friends up there, a lot of very influential friends. And they invited me to Costner's house for a benefit that they're having, a charity fundraiser.
He's celebrating too because of that divorce. But yeah.
Yeah. So Dishwalla, which is a friend of mine's son, is the singer.
Band?
Yeah.
Counting Blue Collar. I love them. Yeah.
My friend Dana Mazzetti, her son, Justin Fox, is the singer.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And Maroon 5 is going to be there, right? And a lot of my other friends are going to be there. And they say, God, Tom, we miss you so much because it's been over a year since I've been to any event up there because I'm here with Dad. And they're all, Tom, you got to come. You got to come. And I said, I really, really want to. And then she says, well, Meghan and Harry are going to be backstage too, And I went, whoa. Because, they're only going because it's Costner's house and a fundraiser. So they're just going to go for the pictures. But if I showed up, I would make the press as a stalker.
What a great, you'd finally have an opportunity. What would you say?
I would walk up behind them and, you know, I don't know, probably slap them both in the ass really hard. You know, like on that
You're
one
kidding.
movie.
Come on, careful. That's not the headline you want.
I know. See, I was up there before last year. I was at the Polo Grounds up there with another event with all my friends. And this photographer came up next to me and they go, hey, you know, Harry's over there in the polo field right next door practicing. And I'm like, really? And that turned into a big fiasco, a big security breach. All of a sudden.
Because you're just there and they're terrified. Oh, what's he going to do?
And the polo game got changed to the next one down over. And that's where it was. So
but be real for a second with me. I know you're telling jokes, but is there no version of this world where you just be the better person in an attempt to go be like, listen, can we squash this? Is there any version
Absolutely.
of that where you'd attempt it?
Anytime. I mean, they have the resources to get a hold of me. They know how
and
to
they should, so they shouldn't be afraid of you. You are willing and ready to attempt to just squash all this.
Absolutely. It's like, come on, Jesus Christ. You know, you want your dad to go out like that? You want to just live this lie and continue to tell lies to cover up more lies for the rest of your lives about your family? Come on. So ridiculous.
There it is. I agree. That's a good ending point. I agree with you. I hope she does it. I hope she sees it. Still got some time here. I hope Meghan really does consider that. Guys, please go support both Thomas Markles, Jr. and Sr. You can support Thomas Sr. over on, I hit the button too soon, over on his GoFundMe. Go click on that. And you can support Thomas Markle Jr. and friends over on his YouTube. Happy to be a friend. Anytime you need me, let me know, please. I will join you. Such a pleasure to talk to you. Hope we can do it again. Guys, go show him some support. Go show his dad support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts as well, the thumbs up, all that jazz, and leave your comments down below. What do you think? Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Palace.